We're back for our daily MLB Best Bets here for May 18th. It is the final day of rivalry weekend here in Major League Baseball, obviously, for this MLB Sunday. And we've got all 30 teams going at it today. And we've got our 5 best bets, of course, from this 15-game slate. Now, folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel. Yesterday evening, we posted our NBA predictions and best bets for Game 7 in Oklahoma City between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Denver Nuggets. That video is linked in the description down below. And on Monday night as well, we're going to have our Game 1 best bets for the Western Conference Finals, whether it be Timberwolves versus Thunder or Timberwolves versus Nuggets. I'm going to have that video up for you guys on Monday night. And also go make sure to check out Greedo Plays. No UFC this weekend, but we're going to have some other various content on Greedo Plays MMA this week as well. Okay, on to the first of our 5 best bets for the MLB today. We're going to kick things off with 2 moneyline bets. I like 2 early money lines a lot, and then we'll have player props and nerfies as the day goes on. Real quick, there were a couple money lines I considered. I did settle on the Phillies here in our first game against the Pirates, and then another one later in the video. But the other 2 I did consider were Reds at home against the Cleveland Guardians, and the Athletics to finally get one in San Francisco against the Giants. Unk is pitching tonight, Justin Verlander, but I decided to lay off. And I thought about sprinkling Angels money line. They have won the first 2 in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. What a game yesterday. But anyways, this is the first money line I decided on. Phillies, Pirates, I'm going with the Phillies. Okay, guys, this is just as simple as, I know how good Paul Skeens is, but I'm by no stretch of the imagination am I calling Paul Skeens overrated. I think, personally, the Pirates are overrated with Paul Skeens. I think that's where, it's a big difference, obviously. But I do think they get too much respect from the books when Skeens pitches. Just because, again, this is not Paul Skeens' fault. I firmly believe Paul Skeens is the top 5 pitcher in the sport. Hell, he's the only pitcher right now announced to be on Team USA for the 2026 World Baseball Classic. We know how great that guy is. I mean, look at what Skeens has done so far this season. ERA is at 2.5. He's got a 3-4 record with a 2.5 ERA. It's ridiculous. His team has lost 4 out of their last 5 games in which Skeens has started. We can talk about all 5 of them real quick. April 19th against the Guardians. He goes 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs. His team loses 3-0. After that, he goes to Los Angeles and pitches against the Dodgers. They actually win that game against LA. 6 1/3, 5 hits, 0 runs, 9 strikeouts for Skeens. Game after that against the Cubs, by far the worst start on this list. 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. His team loses 8-3. Then he goes to St. Louis, goes 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs. His team loses 2-1. Next start against the Mets, 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run. His team loses 4-3. It's not a Skeens problem. It's a Pittsburgh Pirates problem. And that's evident with their record right now. They're 16 games under 500. Obviously, they fired their manager and whatnot. They're still 15-31. They've lost back-to-back games to start the series here in Philadelphia against their in-state rivals. And I don't think anything changes here. Now, for Philadelphia, Mlb is starting. It is his first professional start in the major leagues. Obviously, professional is the wrong way to put this. First major league start for Mlb. Very excited. He has struggled in the minors. It's been a long road. He was part of that 2020 draft, which was, questionable, to say the least. I don't know, because Mlb hasn't been a guy who has really flown through the minor leagues, if we're being honest. He's been okay, but it's just one of these things, like, eventually he's going to be in the major leagues. I don't know how good he's going to get, but they're playing the Pirates. So I expect Mlb to actually be all right today. I look at this Pirates lineup. It's still abysmal. O'Neal Cruz is batting .230 in the leadoff spot. Then there's Clutch. Brian Reynolds is batting .202. Joey Bart arguably might be their best hitter right now, consistency-wise. Kiner Falefa does some damage in the 9 spot, but yeah, the Pirates aren't very good. So I'm willing to say, okay, I think Mlb is going to go 6 innings, 1 run, if I'm being honest. And no, I don't think it's because he's some prodigy. I legitimately just think it's because that's how bad the Pirates are. And yes, yesterday's probably a bad sample size to take. They got shut out through 8 innings. They scored a run in the 9th. And it was Zach Wheeler on the mound initially for Philadelphia. Then they go to Matt Strahm, obviously. They get outs. I just don't trust Pittsburgh at all. And yeah, I know Paul Skeens is great, but guys, I'm going to predict you Paul Skeens' line right now. 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, and it's not going to be enough. Pirates lose 2-1. I'm not joking. Like, that's kind of just what happens when Skeens is on the mound. He's great. There's obviously discussion now about will the Pirates move on from Paul Skeens, because when can you really maximize this trade value? And Pittsburgh, they don't spend money. They don't have they don't have the bats. This team's really never going to win with Skeens here. You might as well get it over with and move him now. And obviously, again, you will get one of the biggest trades or biggest, you'll get one of the biggest packages back for a guy like Skeens. Again, I don't think it's going to happen this season. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens next season, though, if I'm being honest with you. But in this spot, I'm taking the Philadelphia Phillies. I don't care McAble's making his start. I just don't think the Pirates are able to put up runs, and I expect Philly to find a way to scrape some runs across the board. I know this team started off cold. Now they're within 1 game of the division lead here with the New York Mets. Bryson Stott's hitting the ball well, hit a home run yesterday. Trey Turner's got the average to 300. Bryce Harper, I was never concerned. At one point, the average was at 220. Now it's in the 260s, give or take, or high 250s. He'll be fine. Schwarber's fine. Yeah, Philadelphia is going to be okay. They're going to win this division, and maybe they finally do win the World Series that we've kind of been talking about for years at this point now. Give me Philadelphia to win at home. Again, I just do not trust the Pirates. Don't care if Skeens is pitching. He's great. The bats are not. We're going to take Phillies at even money. Next up, we move to our daily Washington Nationals best bet of the day. If it ain't broke, do not fix it. CJ Abrams over on total bases. We have always hit on CJ Abrams lines this year, and I'm going to continue to do it today. So we went back-to-back money line picks for the Nationals yesterday. Huge dogs for the Nats, give or take plus 125. They beat the Orioles on the road. And guys, I think we just need to make it official. The Nats own the DMV. It's that simple. The Nationals own the DMV. They're the best team in that area. The Nats only 7 games under 500. The Orioles are poverty, okay? Firing their manager did not do a single thing, okay? I don't know why Kyle Gibson's pitching, and then it gets even better. They bring in Charlie Morton. Doesn't matter. The Nats put 6 on him in the first inning. What a spot. James Wood, Keibert Ruiz, Luis Garcia. I mean, Jacob Young had a triple. Everything was coming together for the Nationals. Again, I said it yesterday. Maybe this is actually coming true. Nasim Nunez pumping the boys up, telling them we're playing like a travel ball team. That's our next Gerardo Parra, all right? We are so back, okay? The Nats, for the first time since 2018, have won the Beltway Series, okay? They're up 4-1 this year against the O's, hopefully 5-1 today, but we'll see. But it finally feels like, okay, we got some momentum building. We get Atlanta next week. The boys are battling. The Nats are scrappy, okay? We just need Cruz to come along a little bit more. Jake Irvin had a really good start until it wasn't, but still a really good start for Jake Irvin. Again, the Nats own the DMV. By far, the Orioles are poverty. It's absolutely hilarious. We're winning the World Series this season. Okay. But yeah, CJ Abrams, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're going back to CJ, who's batting .301 this season. He's been phenomenal, right? Yesterday, Abrams Abrams did hit for a double, so he did hit that line. The game before that against Baltimore, he went 0 for, but then in the games in Atlanta, he hit this line in every single game that he played. So I believe it's, 5 out the last 6 games for CJ Abrams. He's gone over 1.5 total bases. And it's a legitimate thing, right? This guy is, dare I call him a star, a potential superstar in the sport. I mean, you compare his numbers to a guy like Elly De La Cruz, who is all the media attention, right? I mean, Abrams has had a much better season this year. I get it, we're still kind of early in the year, but this is a guy who was an all-star last year. He's batting .301, he's got 6 home runs, 16 RBI, and he was injured for 2 weeks of this season. I think we got to talk about it, right? Is CJ Abrams kind of entering that elite tier at shortstop? I mean, we've said this before. I think the Nats should probably, again, we'll see. They should have 4 All-Stars. Let's just be honest. If this team's record was better, I think they would. It would be Abrams, it would be Wood, it would be Gore, and it would be Finnegan. Again, I feel like Gore is just going to be the one looking in. I'm going to be honest with you, just because of the ERA. Again, strikeouts are great, but I feel like he's not going to make the cut. I legitimately think the Nationals should have 3 All-Stars this season. Abrams and Finnegan were All-Stars last season, and I kind of feel like you can't exclude James Wood from the game. I'm just going to be honest. In likeliness, it's probably actually Abrams than Finnegan, and then Wood. I don't know, but James Wood, man, batting .280. I mean, this team, they're so much better than their record indicates. How are we 7 games under? I know why. It's because Josh Bell still bats .150. All right, I like Dylan Cruz, but my goodness, Dylan, we need to figure it out at the plate. Jacob Young's hurt, but I think he's day-to-day, so I was thinking, potentially Dalen Lyle comes up, but I do think JY is just going to be out for a couple days, so expect today Alex Call in right field, expect Dylan Cruz in center, and with the left-handed pitcher in Zach Eflin today, expect Ahmed Rosario. No, Eflin's a righty. I apologize. Why was Ahmed Rosario minus 115 on FanDuel for over 2.5 total bases, or 1.5 total bases? He probably won't even play today. Someone at FanDuel did not know what they were doing. I don't know why I just assumed Eflin's a lefty. No, he's definitely a right-handed pitcher. Anyways, that's fine. Give me Luis Garcia in the lineup here against Eflin. I think the Nats, again, I think they can win today, but the way better play for us is against CJ Abrams. I feel like at this point with CJ, it's like, all right, we're just going to take his over against anybody. Like, if we don't like a play with the Nats, in terms of money line, Mike Soroka starting today. Don't trust that. I'm just going to lean on Abrams. I mean, this is the guy who's going to carry the torch for this team. Him and Wood, and eventually, yes, Dylan Cruz will as well. Again, Abrams bats 300 this season. This is the next step that we've been waiting for with the guy. Again, it just solidifies the fact that the Nationals absolutely won the Juan Soto trade. Again, the production we get out of Abrams, Wood, Mackenzie Gore, and just wait for Jarlin Susana when he becomes the next closer of this team past Kyle Finnegan. And I'm still hoping out for Robert Hassel. He's having a really good year in AAA right now, by the way. Him, Lyle, and Brady House. We're just waiting on the three of them. But yeah, I think Abrams should go over this line today. Again, he's been crushing the baseball. Abrams swings first pitch a lot. I would not be surprised if he starts this game off with a leadoff home run. Just kind of the way this series has been going and the momentum the Nationals have been building. And look at the Orioles, who are 14 games under 500. Again, I don't love Nats money line today. That's why I'm not making it a best bet. But it wouldn't surprise me, honestly, if they sweep Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore is completely in the weeds right now. And the Nats, again, I think the Nasim Nunez game, I'm really hoping we're going to look back at this in 2 months and say, all right, when the Nationals are, let's say, 500 in the month of July and kind of, in there for the playoffs, hopefully, I'm going to say, and I hope I will say, all right, May 16th was the day where Nasim Nunez kind of sparked this team and we're going to get going. Again, I could be very wrong, but let's hope, again, let's just say in October when we're in the wild card, May 16th with Nasim Nunez, that was our day. He's the new Para Shark. Okay, anyways. CJ Abrams over 1.5 total bases. I think he can get it fairly easily today. Zach Eflin, yeah, he's probably the best of this lowly O's rotation. Maybe Sugano over him, but yeah, Abrams should be able to get that. Let's move on to our third best bet of the video. We go to our second money line of the day. Guys, I got to take the Tigers. I got to take Detroit at plus money. And okay, here's something. So you know what I said earlier about Paul Skeens, about how, Skeens will pitch masterful games and his team will not find a way to get him run support. I'm not crapping on Jackson Jobe at all here. I think Jackson Jobe's good. He's 22 years old, obviously, rookie pitcher. But his team gets him a boatload of runs. 4.32 ERA in the season for Jobe. His official pitching record is 3-0. Again, we know that doesn't really matter. The Tigers are 7-0 this year when Jackson Jobe starts. And it's not like he puts the best starts together. I mean, look at that start he had against Colorado on the road. 3 2/3, 8 hits, 6 runs. His team still found a way to win in extra innings. His last start against the Boston Red Sox, not a bad start at all. 5 2/3, 3 hits, 1 run. The problem was the walked 5 Red Sox batters. It didn't matter, right? We had the Tigers that day, and they won. It's because Detroit put up 14 runs on the Red Sox. So the Lions scored 2 touchdowns and held the Patriots to only a safety. Right? I mean, it was crazy. It was a 14-2 victory for Detroit in that game, right? This team finds ways to put runs on the board when Jobe pitches, and it's honestly not like Jobe's that horrendous. Again, I think it's still a work in progress. He's obviously still young, but he's a more than serviceable pitcher, and we know how good this Detroit rotation is, obviously, and Jobe is just another one of these guys who are here in the rotation. Now, they're taking on the Blue Jays, who did win yesterday. They walked off Detroit, a 2-1 game. Ernie Clement had the walk-off single for the Blue Jays in that game. This is a team that's now 1 game under 500. That's great. I just don't think they're on the level of Detroit, right? One of my favorite things to do all year long has been taking Detroit at close to plus money, and here we get them at exactly plus money at plus 100, right? I feel like they don't get respected by the books. You look at this team and you say, okay, they're still batting Justin Henry Malloy in the leadoff against left-handed pitchers. Obviously, that will not be the case today with Jose Barrios in the mound, right? But you get guys like him in the lineup, right? Colt Keith will likely be batting pretty high in the lineup tonight. Kerry Carpenter. I mean, it's AJ Hinch baseball, right? Ibanez and Malloy hit against lefties, and you're going to see Carpenter and Trey Sweeney and whatnot, and Colt Keith higher up the lineup against right-handed pitching. It's just how this team works. It's his philosophy. And that's fine. Again, that's how Detroit wins, because they have guys who just specialize in hitting, one sort of pitcher. And obviously that's what propelled them to win in the Yale wild card round last year against Houston. I'll never forget when Andy Ibanez, who was ice cold, didn't play the entire game, had to come in off the bench in a huge bases loaded spot, saw a left-handed relief pitcher, pulls one down the line, ultimately propels the Tigers to victory. Again, a guy who had not played all game long comes in the 7th inning and pushes his team to victory. That's just how the Tigers play. There is no one star on this team. I got to give Javi still credit. I know he went 0 for yesterday, but Baez is batting 300, something I never thought I'd ever see again out of Javier Baez. Riley Green has been good this year. Gleyber Torres has been excellent in his first year here in Detroit. He's batting 295. And sure, given this Blue Jays team, they got bats at the top of the order. They do. Bichette, Guerrero, Springer. Other than that, nothing really pops off the page. Let's just be honest. I think the Tigers are able to win this one. Jose Barrios is on the mound for the Blue Jays, but guys, Barrios has gotten lit up recently, especially his last start. Guys, the Rays, it's not a murderer's row for what the Tampa Bay Rays are putting out there on a daily basis with their lineup, right? And the Devil Rays, or the Rays, have 5 hits, 5 runs on Jose Barrios in 5 innings last Tuesday. Again, that's the Tampa Bay Rays. Who on that lineup really pops off the page for you? Caminero, that's about it. They're an injured squad, and they still were able to do that to Barrios and the Jays, a game that ultimately Tampa Bay won 11-9. I think Detroit's got Barrios and the Blue Jays today. Again, I like Jackson Jobe a lot, and again, Detroit is undefeated this year in games in which Jackson Jobe starts with his 4.3 ERA. His teammates and the bats around him have continued to find ways to win, so why not today as well? And I just don't think Toronto's that great. Again, I don't know if they're going to go into full-blown rebuild mode. Probably not, obviously. We mentioned that at the beginning of the season when they did re-sign Vladimir Guerrero. But we'll see. Bichette's on an expiring deal. I don't know what the future holds for this team. Obviously, they kind of went out and tried this offseason with a move like Max Scherzer. But I think Detroit here is at too good a value to pass up on the road. Plus 100 for the Tigers to win on the road here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We move on to our 4th best bet of the video. Let's go to our daily NRFI of the day. I wanted to play a money line here, but the odds just don't work for us. I was thinking this was going to be the day that the Twins winning streak comes to an end, and I think it is still, just with Freddie Peralta on the mound. But the Brew Crew are at minus 160 on the money line. I'm not going to play that personally, especially against a Minnesota Twins team that is now on a 13-game winning streak and a team that has shut out the Milwaukee Brewers in back-to-back games. So I'm not going to play a money line on one side or the other here. I don't really care who wins. I guess I kind of want Minnesota to win to continue this winning streak until next week and tomorrow, where they host the Cleveland Guardians. But we're taking the NRFI in this spot. Guys, again, Milwaukee hasn't scored in over 18 innings. Do we think the first inning is going to be any different today? No. I don't think it's going to be. They have not scored in 18 consecutive innings. Again, this will not be the change here. And I feel pretty good about Milwaukee's starting pitcher. It's Freddie Peralta. The ace of this rotation, Peralta, has still been good in 2025. 2.66 ERA. Dare I say he's been excellent. His last start was a little bit shaky against the Guards. 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs. But prior to that, completely shut down the Chicago Cubs. 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs. Start earlier in the year against the Sacramento Athletics. 5 innings, 7 hits, no runs. Peralta's been good. He's actually been really good. So I think Freddie Peralta in this first inning does find a way against the Twins, even though this Minnesota lineup's been absolutely, they've been on fire. Right, I watched this Twins-Brewers game yesterday. Minnesota, I get they only scored 1 run in these innings, but they score a run in every inning until the 7th. Guys, the 7th and the 8th innings were the only 2 innings in which the Twins did not score yesterday. They only scored 7 runs. They won 7-0. They should have won by a lot more. They had 18 hits. It's crazy. Really crazy. And really just feels like there's no easy outs in this lineup right now. Something that I didn't really think was going to happen to start the season. But look at, all right, Trevor Lawrence is hitting the ball well. Ryan Jeffers is killing the ball. Smoked one in the first inning to put this team up 1-0, right? Ty France is in the ball well this year. Royce Lewis slowly figuring it out. Hell, Christian Vasquez had a big hit in that game in the second inning to put the Twins up 2-0, right? Pablo Lopez had a great start on the bump as well, but man, I mean, this Twins lineup is really good. Now, again, that's where you get a little bit concerned with the NRFI, but Freddie Peralta's pitching, right? I love doing this, by the way, with NRFIs too, right? I like taking a good lineup like Minnesota, and this is where we get the value here. I get it. It's -135, but we're going to play it, right? We get a good lineup like Minnesota. We square them off against a really good pitcher in Freddie Peralta. In the first inning, again, yes, will the Twins eventually get to Peralta? Likely. But in the first inning, I do think Peralta is going to get the upper edge, right? So you combine that with the fact this Brewers lineup is ice cold. The only guy in this lineup that is actually consistently hitting the baseball is Bryce Turang, who had 2 of the 3 Milwaukee hits yesterday. The other one went to Rhys Hoskins. But Turang's batting .295 this season, but we mentioned the struggles yesterday of guys like Jackson Chourio, who at one point in the season was batting 6th. He was in the 2 spot yesterday. Christian Yelich is struggling. He's batting .196. Contreras in the 240s, right? I mean, this is not a hot team at all. So other than Turang, I look at the Brewers and I say, okay, I think we're going to be able to get outs. Now, it's Zebby Matthews pitching today for Minnesota. It's his first appearance of the season for the 24-year-old. Okay, well, you get Milwaukee. Like, again, other than Turang, I think we're fine. We expect, all right, at the worst, Turang's going to get on base. I'm not really scared of Christian Yelich right now. I'm not really scared of Contreras, righty-righty. I think we're okay with Zebby Matthews. And on top of that, I do think Freddie Peralta is able to manage against a red-hot Minnesota lineup. I think we're okay here with the NRFI. -135, again, the odds aren't great, but I do really like the spot, all things considered. The history of how, or I guess just the recent games for Milwaukee, and with Freddie Peralta on the bump as well. I'm taking the NRFI here from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Twins, Brewers, Matthews, Peralta, go out and get us 6 outs. We cap off the day here with our best player prop, and we move to Petco Park for the Seattle Mariners and the San Diego Padres. Again, my days of picking Seattle Mariners baseball games are long gone. You know, I quit. We did it again last week or earlier this week. We had the New York Yankees to beat the Seattle Mariners. And of course, by the way, the Yankees go into Seattle for a 3-game set. The Yankees win 2 of those games. The one game they did not win was the one day we picked them to win the game for the money line, for our money line play. It's just ridiculous. I kid you not, I think I'm 0-8 now, picking Mariners games this season. I might be wrong, I might have gotten 1, but I have the worst luck predicting Seattle Mariners baseball games. So I've given up on money lines with them for now. We are now moving to the player prop for today. It's Bryan Woo. I get it, San Diego's a team that's not going to strike out the most. I completely get that. But I feel like this line's too low still. I really think it is. You can look at, Emerson Hancock's start yesterday, and I was, by the way, very surprised Seattle was able to beat San Diego on the road with Hancock on the bump. Hancock didn't have a bad game, by the way, goes 4 2/3, 6 hits, 1 run, 3 Ks. But Bryan Woo, again, is levels better, obviously, than Emerson Hancock. Woo's got a great fastball, some great swing and miss stuff, and he has gone over this 4.5 strikeout line in each of his last 4 starts, right? You look back April 24th against the Red Sox, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 8 Ks. In Texas against the Rangers, 6 1/3, 1 hit, 0 runs, 8 strikeouts. Against the Athletics in Sacramento, his worst start of this group, but still went over this line. 6 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs. Mariners still won that game, by the way, but 6 strikeouts for Woo. And then his last start at home against the Yankees, the one game where we took New York, obviously in Seattle, Woo goes 6 1/3, 4 hits, 0 runs, 6 strikeouts. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to going alt strikeout line here of over 5.5, but we're just going to play the line that the books give us here of 4.5, right? Again, the one start where Woo did not reach this line was earlier in the year against the Toronto Blue Jays, I believe. Yes, he had 4 strikeouts. Woo's hit this line in every game but 1 all year long. It's that one start on April 18th in Toronto. I mean, look, prior to that, right? Rangers start 7 strikeouts. Giants start 6 strikeouts. First start of the year on March 30th, 5 strikeouts against the Athletics. I mean, again, I know how good the Padres bats can be, but at the same time, we know how good Woo can be with the strikeouts, right? And San Diego has lost the first 2 games of this series. The Mariners are playing with a lot of momentum right now. I get it. No starting pitcher for the Mariners so far in the series has gone over this line, but I think you got to consider the pitchers that they've started, right? Logan Evans, who has had a very good start to the season, but Logan Evans is not a strikeout guy. He's a pitch to contact guy. he's had one game all year long where he's covered this out of his 4 starts. And then Emerson Hancock has just struggled to put the ball over the plate, let alone get strikeouts, let alone, win games. So I'm not really concerned that Emerson Hancock didn't go over this line for the Mariners. Bryan Woo, again, is part of this elite pitching staff that the Mariners have right now, right? And again, 3 of them are injured. And I don't know if we can really consider Bryce Miller part of the elite group right now, but right? It's Castillo, it's Kirby, it's Gilbert, and it's Woo, right? And then Bryce Miller, when he's healthy, is 5. That's why they traded Luis F. Castillo. It's just they didn't need another starting pitcher, right? You still have Hancock around as well, who I assume is probably going to go to the bullpen, but maybe he'll go to, Tacoma, I believe is their AAA. Regardless, right? Obviously, when all those guys get healthy, right? I mean, they need Logan Gilbert back. Same with George Kirby. But, yeah, I feel like Woo's going to get the strikeouts here. I don't think it's fair to Woo to compare him to Logan Evans and to Emerson Hancock. Yeah, again, I know the Padres' bats are good, but Bryan Woo's going to find a way to get strikeouts. I think he's going to go 6 innings, and the way that the Mariners have been pitching, right? I mean, it's been pitch to contact for Evans and Hancock, but both of those guys picked up wins so far in the series at Petco Park in San Diego. I'm not telling you Bryan Woo and the Mariners are going to win today, but why would the pitching be any different today, right? I feel like Woo's going to go deep in the game, and if he does go the distance and the length that both Evans and Hancock went, why wouldn't he get the over 4.5 strikeouts, which to me just feels like a steal of a line. Minus 135 for Bryan Woo here on the road at Petco Park in San Diego, California. Again, he's hit this in all but one start all year long, so he's 6 of 7 or 7 of 8 this season with this line. I think he'll do it again against a really good ball club in the Padres, but a team that the Mariners have already beaten in back-to-back games this series. So, folks, thank y'all for watching our MLB Best Bets here for May 18th. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to go check out our Game 7 predictions and best bets for OKC versus the Denver Nuggets. Folks, thank y'all for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. And Mamba